Welcome to British Biomedicine Institute. Today I, Dr. Pramod Khatri, Medical Director of British Biomedicine Clinical Trials, is going to teach you a simple topic named as safety event reporting. So, why there is a requirement of safety? Basically, safety monitoring in clinical trial can be a specific or in general question because all the participating subjects, they should be getting safe medicine. They must be getting main advantage of that treatment, and there has to be a minimum risk or minimum side effects. And the journal safety goals are to detect and characterized common adverse drug reactions, to determine tolerability in subjects, and to identify risk factor for a particular type of adverse drug reactions. So, under the glossary, I will be giving you a basic definition of AE, adverse drug reactions, ADR, SAE, serious adverse drug reactions, and SUSAR, suspected unexpected serious adverse reaction. So, basically, the classification of ADR can be divided into two types. As per the Rowling and Thompson classification, it can be of two types, type A and type B, whereas based on the intensity of ADR, it can be again redivided as mild, moderate, or severe. And it can also be based upon the relationship between adverse drugs and the drug which were consumed simultaneously. Like we can redefine it as probable, definite, or possible, or unknown, or not related. So basically here we will be correlating a medicine versus a drug reaction. So there can be a relationship of adverse event to the trial drug. It is possible, and it can be concluded in 6 main points like previous experience with the medicine, alternative reason to the AE, adverse event, timing between administration and adverse event, medicine level and evidence, de-challenge and re-challenge. So in your safety data reporting, basically there can be an expedited adverse drug reaction reports. They can also be PSUR, periodic safety update reports, ISS, integrated safety summary, or we can also get data from your safety, SAFTEE, systematic assessment of treatment emerging events. And we can also get data from FDA form 3500A and 3500 for voluntary reporting or for mandatory reporting. So under your expedited adverse drug reaction reports, ICH E2A, basically it generally involves reporting of events previously unobserved or undocumented, and all ADR that are both serious and unexpected are reported. And basically here casualty assessment are required in this case. And under your PSUR, periodic safety update report, section ICH E2C R1, it will provide us about the safety experience of medicinal product at defined time post marketing. The main objectives are, it will helps us in reporting all the relevant new safety informations for appropriate sources. We can correlate these data with patient exposures. We can also summarize market authorization status in different countries at any significant variations related to the safety. And we can also create periodically the opportunity for overall safety re-evaluation. And it can also indicate whether the challenge should be made to product information in order to optimize the use of the medical product. And as per the reporting interval for US FDA, there has to be a quarterly report during first 3 years, then annually. Whereas in European, semester report for the first 2 years, and then annually for 3 years, and later on every 5 years at the time of renewal of registration. So under your integrated safety summary, it gives us an important component for clinical summary for NDA or MAA filing. It can also give us an integrated safety information from all the sources. It can help us in describing the nature, frequency, seriousness, and severity of adverse event. We can also determine what safety are included in the initial product information, and we can also discuss drug-drug interaction on the basis of clinical cases, and these can be reported to your IRB or IEC. They can also be reported to DSMB, Data and Safety Monitoring Board, and to all other regulatory authorities. And the duration of reporting are: if it is fatal or life-threatening unexpected adverse drug reaction, then that has to be reported within 7 days, and a complete report must be notified, must be submitted within 15 days. And if there are other serious unexpected adverse drug reactions, then it must be notified to the respective DSMB or IRB within 15 days. So the main objective of DSMB, Data Safety Monitoring Board, is that it ensures that the risk associated with the trial subjects are minimized to the extent possible, and it plays an essential role in protecting the safety of the subjects and preventing or ensuring the integrity of the study. And if the safety concerns they arise, then that clinical trial has to be stopped as soon as possible. So pharmacovigilance, basically as per the WHO definition, it is a science and activity related to the assessment, understanding, prevention of adverse events or any drug related problems, and basically a study of safety of marketed drugs under the practical condition of clinical usage in the large population, as stated by Mann and NDA in 2002. The main objective of the pharmacovigilance is that it protects subject from unnecessary harm by identifying previously unrecognized drug hazards. It eradicates predisposing factor to ADR. It refutes false safety signals, and to quantify the risk of relation to the patients. The major limitation of pre-marketing clinical studies are: it is basically relatively small, it is basically conducted on the small number of subjects. The study are usually empowered to determine efficacy, and there can be a stringent exclusion criteria related to the study, and less number of subjects with concomitant medications they are recruited. So basically pharmacovigilance method, it will be helpful in collecting the rarest form of data with the help of passive surveillance. Basically there will be a case series reporting or your spontaneous reporting, whereas there can be a simultaneous reporting, continuous reporting, or there can be a active surveillance like your sentinel sites, drug event monitorings, or registries. They will be helpful in collecting rarest form of adverse event in clinical in the form of data. And there can also be a targeted clinical investigations to collect pharmacovigilance data. So under spontaneous reporting, basically it is a communication by consumer or healthcare professionals to a company or to a regulatory authority which describe one or more adverse drug reaction in a patient who was given the medicine. It also play a major role in identification of safety signals once the medicine is marketed. And it can also give us alert on rare adverse events that were not detected in the earlier clinical trials or studies, or even in the pre-marketing studies. And it also provides us an important information on at-risk group, risk factors, and clinical features which were unknown for serious adverse drug reactions. Under your case series, basically, in this, a series of case reports can provide evidence of an association of a drug towards adverse drug reaction, and generally it is more useful for generating hypothesis than for verifying an association between drug exposure and the outcome. Under stimulated reporting, basically it is a method which is used to encourage and facilitate reporting of healthcare professionals for new product or for within the limited time period. And under this, online reporting of adverse events or systemic stimulation of reporting of AE usually happens, and the main disadvantage of this is that the data is often incomplete and it is not useful to generate accurate incidence rate with this method. Under the active surveillance, basically the main objective of this active surveillance is to ascertain completely the number of adverse events via a continuous pre-organized process. For example, follow-up of patients which are treated with a particular type of medicine. And it is more feasible to get comprehensive data on individual adverse event reports. Under the sentinel sites, basically these are the active surveillance can be done at an institute, either it is a government hospital or a private hospital or at a nursing home, etc. And they can also provide information such as clinical data from specific patient subgroup or drug abuse, etc. But the main weakness is selection biasness. Small number of patients and there is an increased cost. Whereas through drug event monitoring, patients are identified with the help of electronic prescription data or automated health insurance claim, and we will be generating a questionnaire, and from that data can be captured from each patient who at a specific interval. And the main advantage of getting this is that we will be able to get patient demographic data, indication of treatments, and duration of therapy and dosage form. Whereas the main limitation of this is that poor physician and patient response rate. Sometimes patients, they do not actively participate. And there can also be unfocused nature of data collection. Irrelevant data can come out. Whereas with the help of registries, basically here a registry can be helpful as it is a list of patients which are presented with same characteristics like a drug registry or medicine registry can also be there, and clinical information can be obtained by using standard questionnaires which can be given to the patients. So under targeted clinical investigations, basically when a significant risk are identified from pre-approval clinical trials, further clinical studies are required in order to evaluate the mechanism of action of ADR, adverse drug reaction, and basically large simplified trials they can be conducted. But limitation is that outcome measure might be too simplified, which may have impact on the quality of data generated. And again, these are resource intensive. So I hope you have gained a lot of clinical information through this presentation. Please like, share, subscribe our YouTube channel named as British Biomedicine Institute. Good luck, goodbye.